The story begins by taking us back to a time when the Earth was devoid of any animals, birds, or humans. There we see an alien-like creature consuming some sort of poisonous substance, which causes its body to disintegrate and merge with the water. As a result of this reaction, human beings are born on Earth. Fast forward to year 2089, where a group of archaeologists are conducting an excavation on Skye Island in Scotland. It is then Shaw come across some drawings on the mountains while digging. She calls out to her boyfriend Charlie to come over and take a look. She informs him that these drawings are 35,000 years old and similar drawings have been found in different parts of the world, depicting a man pointing towards a group of stars. Shaw's belief is that these drawings are attempting to communicate that we should go and find them. The story then shifts to 2093, where we are introduced to a spaceship called Prometheus floating in space, carrying 17 passengers and a robot named David. While the passengers are all sound asleep in their individual sleeping pods, David is awake and alert. During the course of the journey, David acquires proficiency in several ancient languages and can even access the dreams of the passengers. He was a highly advanced robot designed to interact with humans and blend in like one of them. As they near their destination, David awakens everyone. Afterwards, the spaceship's head, Vickers, calls all the passengers to a meeting. During the meeting, they are shown a holographic video featuring an elderly man named Peter, who happens to be the same person whose company funded the creation of the spaceship, with Vickers being his daughter. In the video, Peter reveals that if they are watching it, it means he has passed away. Actually, Peter was a scientist whose entire life was devoted to finding God. However, Saw and Charlie managed to persuade him that they had found the creators of humans, whom they call the engineers, and now they are on their way to meet them. Upon hearing this, everyone present burst out laughing, finding their claims absurd and nonsensical. After the meeting, Vickers calls Shaw and Charlie to her room. She expresses her skepticism about their claims, but even if they happen to be true, she demands that they avoid any contact with the other group and simply report to her. In fact, she believes her father was a gullible man who wasted a great deal of money on this project. Later, during their descent onto the planet, Charlie spots a large artificial-like structure in the distance. He instructs the captain to land the spacecraft near the structure. After landing, they come to know that the planet's environment is similar to Earth, except for slightly higher levels of carbon dioxide, necessitating that everyone wear spacesuits to enter the structure. Once inside, David releases the flying machines that maps the entire structure. While walking, they stumbled upon a place with an environment similar to Earth, with even cleaner air. Despite Shaw's objections, Charlie removes his helmet and one by one, everyone follows suit. David finds a sticky substance on the walls and traces symbols on the wall with his fingers, which causes a hologram video to play in which large aliens running away from something, but one falls and its head is sliced by a closing door. Everyone chases the hologram and finds the dead alien body lying there. However, two geologists and their team become frightened and decide to return to the spaceship. When David opens the door, they find the dead alien's head on the other side, which Shaw decides to take back to the spaceship. In the room, they also find various vase-like objects, and an unknown black liquid was leaking from them. David takes the liquid on his finger, calling it a sign of life, and secretly puts it in his bag. Soon, the color of the paintings on the wall begins to change as the environment in the room is affected by their presence. Just then, the captain warns them via wireless that a massive storm is approaching their location, and they have only 15 minutes to return to the spaceship. Upon hearing this, everyone rushes back to the spaceship. However, the two individuals who had become separated from the group had lost their way and were still inside the structure. The captain informs them that they will retrieve them in the morning once the storm has passed, and until then, they should rest where they are. Afterwards, all of the scientists examine the head that Shaw had brought back. Shaw asks to apply some current to it in order to observe any movements in its tissue, but the current ends up being too high, causing the head to briefly come to life before rapidly bursting. Later, when Shaw examines its DNA, she discovers that it is completely human-like. On the other hand, David opens the vase he brought from inside the structure, which contains 4 bottles of liquids. He takes a drop of one of the liquids on his finger, saying that great things start from small beginnings, and adds it to Charlie's drink, because he wanted to observe its effect on humans. One reason for this is that David did not get along with Charlie, and he always hurt him by saying that he was a robot and had no feelings. Additionally, Charlie used to say that he could go to any extent to find God. Later that night, Charlie and Shaw share some romantic moments and become intimate. On the flip side, the two individuals who had separated from the rest, stumble upon a place filled with many vases. In the midst of the vases, they come across a small creature that appears quite adorable. One of them tries to touch the creature, but it clings onto his hand and breaks it before brutally killing both of them. The next morning, everyone goes to look for them, but they only find their remains there. However, David discovers a secret room that activates a hologram of the entire universe when he presses a button. He also encounters some aliens or engineers who had created humans sleeping in pods, but all of them are dead, except one. Later, Charlie falls ill, and it is due to the drink that David had given him the night before. They rush to the spaceship, but Vickers refuses to let David board to prevent any virus from spreading. Charlie also realizes that he has become a danger to everyone and decides to sacrifice himself by approaching Vickers and letting her burn him. Shaw is devastated to witness this and falls into shock. When she regains consciousness, she finds herself in quarantine due to her relationship with Charlie, and it's likely that she has also contracted the virus. David examines her and discovers that she is 3 months pregnant, which surprises Shaw because she was sleeping in the sleeping pod 3 months ago. David informs her that this isn't a normal pregnancy. Although Shaw wants to see the fetus, David refuses and says that they will take her back to Earth for treatment, then administers a sedative. Later, when 2 people arrive to take Shaw to the sleeping pod, she panics and runs away. She hides in an advanced medical machine where she discovers that she is carrying a creature inside her. The machine is very expensive, and there are only a dozen of them on Earth, with permission to use them limited to owners. After receiving treatment, Shaw runs to a room where she encounters Peter, who she thought was dead, still alive. His plan is to go and meet the engineer whom David found alive in the structure. Peter believes that if these beings created them, then they can also save them, allowing him to become young again. After Shaw gets ready to enter the structure in her spacesuit, all set to meet the engineer, the ship's captain arrives. He explains that the structure is not the engineer's real home, but a military outpost where they create dangerous creatures because they are not foolish enough to create such things on their own planet. And maybe some creatures were accidentally released and became the cause of their own death. Shaw tells him that an engineer is still alive, to which the captain responds that he won't take any alien with him to Earth and will do whatever it takes to prevent that. After a while, the entire map of the structure is complete, revealing that it is a spaceship. Then they return to the structure, and David reveals they were preparing to go to the Earth. Shaw asks why they wanted to go to Earth. David explains that before creating something new, it is essential to destroy the old. He then awakens the alien and tries to communicate with it, but the alien tears off David's head and kills everyone else there, except for Shaw, who manages to escape. The alien then begins to prepare the spaceship to take it to Earth. Shaw contacts the captain through wireless to inform him that they have to stop the alien. However, the captain replies that they will not do anything and simply return home safely. Shaw warns him that if he doesn't stop the alien, they will have no home to return to. After hearing this, the captain crashes his spaceship into the alien spaceship to stop it, resulting in the deaths of everyone except Shaw. Afterwards, Shaw's oxygen is about to run out. She rushes into the spaceship, but the alien engineer pursues her and attempts to kill her. However, she outwits him by pressing a button to open a door, revealing a creature that had emerged from her stomach and had since grown significantly in size and kills the engineer. Then David seeks Shaw's help, to which Shaw questions why in this world she should help him, to which David responds that there are several other spaceships present there and he knows how to operate it, and they can use one to return home. Shaw agrees to help David and requests that he take her to the place where the engineers came to learn why they wanted to kill them. They both board the spaceship and head towards the engineer's home. Meanwhile, an unusual mysterious creature emerges from the dead engineer's body, screaming loudly. And with this scene, movie comes to an end. If you want the second part of the movie, please type part 2 in the comment section. The IMDb rating of this movie is 7 out of 10, and I think it's perfect. If you like the explanation, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing the channel. See you all in the next video. Till then, stay safe and watch out.